There is still someone with a gun.
She's in that house, bro. That apartment.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up, baby! Wake up!
Is there any reason why anybody would have any video or anything like that of you saying, like, the N-word?
I don't know where I hear the big bang. No, I came outside and I saw my first mom on the ground.
Where's the gunshot?
I don't know. I've been planning to do this for the longest time, bro.
It's 8:50 p.m. A group of kids are playing outside on the street, just like any other night. That's until exactly 8:54, when a gunshot is heard. Police receive several 911 calls from around the neighborhood and swiftly send out a unit. Someone has just been shot and is in critical condition. The thing is, everyone in the neighborhood claims they know exactly who fired the gun. Specifically, a lady that has been throwing racial slurs at the kids for months, at one point even calling them slaves and the N-word. But detectives will soon reveal proof to her that they know the truth and that she's been found out as an evil, racist killer.
She said there's an old white lady.
Do you have your trauma bag?
There is still someone with a gun.
She's inside.
Okay.
Where?
Bro,
Where? Ex-military. She's in that house, bro. This first apartment.
I need like a coordinate.
Baby, wake up! Baby, wake up!
That was right there.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up, baby! Wake up! Baby, wake up! Come on! Hey, baby, wake up!
We need to do CPR real quick.
Baby, wake up!
CPR.
Baby, wake up!
Let me see. Do we have any pulse?
Come on.
We got a pulse! We got a pulse!
Laying on the ground is a GK AJ Owens, a mother of 4 who lives down the street. She is still alive, but barely. Police scramble to help the woman performing CPR while they wait for the paramedics to arrive. There is a more pressing issue, though. The perpetrator is still not apprehended and might still be a danger. Police quickly move to detain the suspect before things have a chance to turn more violent.
Oh, y'all bitches better than this. I'm in front. Sheriff's office, come outside with your hands up! This is the Marion County Sheriff's Office, come outside with your hands up! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Turn around! Turn around! Where's your gun at?
You got hands? You got hands?
You're gonna be detained for
Is there anybody else in the house?
There's somebody else in the house. Can I just get my daughter?
No, not right now.
You're not under arrest, you're being detained.
Okay, I understand.
Come over here.
Wait, can you close the door? I have 2 cats inside.
Hold on.
Instead of a terrifying seasoned criminal they expect to find, they are greeted by 60-year-old grandma Susan Lawrence. She appears frail and scared, but witnesses at the scene are adamant that she is indeed the killer. Susan clearly isn't equipped to fight off a team of first responders and is apprehended without much incident, leaving the cops with many questions. For now, though, the cops have to turn all their attention to AJ and make sure that she gets out of this alive.
She's still with us.
Here. Move. She's got a pulse. Move. She does? Here, move.
She's got a pulse.
Where's the gunshot?
Here.
What did she show her with? Here.
It's probably like a 24 or something.
Oh my God.
She said she has a pulse.
No exit, yes.
She's got pulse.
Very
said
faint,
she's got
very
pulse.
faint, very faint.
No exit wound means that the bullet is still inside of AJ. Had it left her body, the trauma would have been over, and the medics could focus on stopping the bleeding and letting the wounds heal. But in this case, the foreign object will make the healing much harder, and it also means that the body was responsible for stopping all of the bullet's speed, likely doing more damage to her skin, bones, and organs. All cops can do, amongst screams from friends and family, is continue to try saving her life. EMTs then arrive on scene as the officer passes over the job of saving AJ's life to them before entering Susan's home and checking it for weapons or any other evidence. That's when they hear that there was a witness to the crime, someone that was standing right next to AJ when it happened. A young boy, completely traumatized by what he'd just seen.
Where is he?
Bravo 27 Marion, 65 1050.
This is him right here?
Pulling into the Bellevue Christian Academy, Florida 28.
What's going on, my man? Alright, first,
Here, give me this. Okay, relax. Nothing happened. You're good.
what's your name? So tell me what you saw here tonight.
didn't see much. We were playing around. I was on my electric scooter.
Okay.
And then my friend's mom got mad. My friend's mom got mad at the lady.
Okay, so that was your friend's mom. She got mad because the other lady had taken an iPad.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened
And
after
she
that?
gave it back.
The other lady gave it back.
Yes, and then she came and banged on her door, her window.
Okay.
Slide door. That, she banged on that, and then the door.
Okay.
And then I was on my electric scooter right here, and then I don't know where I hear a big bang.
Okay.
I'm just running.
Did you actually see anybody with any kind of gun, anything like that, or did you just hear?
I just hear
Okay.
Despite how scary all of this must have been for him, the boy couldn't have been more helpful to the cops. This is the first recount of the incident that they've been given, and it goes a long way in helping to understand the situation. He says he never saw a gun, but he did hear a loud banging sound. Susan firing at AJ, allegedly attempting to take her life. Actually, talking with the kids and parents that live in this area made the cops understand just how tragic this incident was for everyone. Everyone seemed to love AJ, and all the kids were terrified that she might not make it. So wanting to make sure that they brought the monster that did this to justice, they hand the case over to Major Crimes, but not before one of the neighbors gives the police a warning.
And I'm just letting you guys know, this neighborhood here is hot. It's always hot. You know, there's a lot of things going on.
I come through here as much as I can.
But the reason why I'm saying it is she's not safe coming back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
I get what you're saying. I think she knows.
You know what I mean? But
I got you, my man.
yeah.
All right, if we need anything, we'll come knock, all right?
If Susan somehow manages to escape justice from police, this man says she'll almost certainly face violent retribution from someone in this neighborhood if she's foolish enough to come back. While Susan awaits questioning, detectives decide to do a little digging. Curiously, they don't find any form of criminal record, but instead 6 phone calls from her to the police reporting the kids for criminal behavior. And when the cops reviewed the body cam of these incidents, a picture would slowly start to be painted of Susan's motives and her racist hatred towards everyone around her.
Hello. Sheriff's office.
Hi.
What's going on this evening?
Lots of children screaming their full heads off, running around. They know they're not supposed to be over here. They've been told many times. They've previously stolen the trespassing sign. And the little kid tells me to shut up to my face. I said, don't be disrespectful.
Did anyone put hands on anybody? Did she touch you at all? Okay. Okay, so it was only words?
Yes.
Okay.
Susan had routinely complained about the kids playing on her lawn and had even put up a no trespassing sign on the grass outside her home. The thing is, that area was actually shared space and the kids had every right to play on it. On top of that, she told the officer that the kids often shout at her and say mean things, but according to everyone else, it seems like it might actually be the other way around.
So,
Now we're clear.
were you the guys that this lady was mad about?
Yes, and I just want to say that every time, like even if we're not...
Hold on. Let's bring it down.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Every time,
You're okay.
even if we're not on her property, and we're just like being loud and playing basketball over there because there's a basketball hoop,
I got you.
like she just calls us names.
Okay.
Yeah, like literally, because that's an open right there.
Yeah.
All that is not her property.
I got
The
you.
guy that when I was telling this officer right here, this guy has said numerous times, y'all come over here and play, because they all like to play football.
Okay. What kind of names is she calling you guys?
The B word.
The B word.
The P word, every word in the book. Like, she came out yelling and she was talking about a little girl getting and stuff. Like, she's crazy. Like,
They didn't mention it here, but there were even reports of Susan using the N-word at the kids, and saying some even worse racist remarks that we'll look into later. But the officer wants to make sure that these kids know that they're not doing anything wrong, and how to avoid getting on Susan's nerves anymore.
Get it. Kids can be loud, okay? Right? Right? I'm down with it. I get it. But when it's close to someone's house, sure, it gets a little annoying sometimes, I won't lie, okay?
The kids were extremely respectful to the officers and all the other adults, and it's hard to imagine why someone like Susan would get this annoyed at them for simply having fun. But in reality, this abuse would last for another 6 months, until the night that gunshot was fired. And Now that they've got a better picture of Susan's interactions with the kids, they're slowly able to piece together a possible motive. But it's not all good news. In the time it took detectives to look through this footage, gather evidence, and talk to witnesses, AJ passed away in the hospital due to her injuries. This has now become a murder case. And to make matters worse, because of precisely what happened in the shooting, detectives are going to have a tough time proving that this was premeditated or even intentional at all. And that's what Susan was going to try and argue. Susan almost certainly knows just how serious what she's done is, but has a plan to try and twist and bend the truth as much as she can to try and get away with it. And it would soon turn out the truth was far more insane than they ever had thought.
Okie dokie.
Sorry, I'm Susan, I appreciate you coming back in and talking. So, Susan, obviously when we spoke the other night, it was kind of a lot of things going on still. A lot of the pieces of what happened were still trying to be put together.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, we've obviously talked to a lot more witnesses who were there. We've gained access to some video from around the area of where your complex is located.
The detective is being very upfront and respectful with Susan, choosing to let her know what information they've gathered in their investigation. Smart suspects would keep all of this in mind and change their story according to what they think the cops have. But these exact pieces of evidence would later be used to catch Susan out when she starts to lie through her teeth.
And try to understand better is when Ajika was at the door, when she approached the door, when was it that you realized that it was her coming to the door? How did you know someone was there initially? Was it because...
There was a huge banging.
Okay.
They were just pounding at that door.
Okay. So initially, there was no words, it was just the pounding?
Yeah.
That's what started the interaction there?
Yes.
And where was the pounding at initially, where it first began?
The front door.
At the front door?
Yes.
Okay. How many times did she was it just like
it was,
like one or
no,
was
no,
it
no,
several?
it was just bang, bang, bang,
Okay.
bang.
All right. And then you said you asked her who's there. Okay. And what was said then?
I think she said, why do you speak to my children this way? And I said, listen, I'm not going to speak to you. Go away. You know, if she had a problem, she should have called you guys.
It seems as though this had all started after Susan had again shouted at AJ's kids. This time, though, she'd also throw various dangerous objects at them, taken one of their iPads, and allegedly used racial slurs. Throughout this interview, Susan will do everything she can to play the victim, and as she does so, she'll get tangled up in many lies and confusing statements. If she believes you should avoid confrontation and call the cops instead, why did she yell at the kids, take their possessions, and throw things at them? Already, things don't make sense, but the cops don't want to seem combative yet. That'll come later. Now, they want to focus on her past interactions with AJ, pointing out that if AJ had never been violent with her before, what made Susan believe her life was in danger?
Well, you said there was like the initial barrage of the pounding, and you said who's there, and she said, you know, what you said that, about not talking to her children that way.
Yeah.
And then you said it got quiet. So there was no banging, there was no words being said.
Because I thought she went away.
And then did she start yelling again first, or was there more banging?
It was banging, it was yelling. I thought she was just going to break down the door.
Okay.
So, I mean, my heart was pounding, and I was like, she's really going to kill me.
Susan then details her perspective of this whole thing. She says that she was in the kitchen when AJ came to the door for around 30 seconds, then she moved to the bathroom as things got quiet again. Then for the next 2 minutes after the knocking started again, she moved back to the kitchen and yelled at AJ for her to go away. From her perspective, this whole ordeal lasted somewhere between 2 and 5 minutes, and for the duration of this, she was absolutely terrified.
When she started pounding on the door again and saying all that stuff to the point where you fired the gun, how long do you think that lasted?
2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes.
I don't know. Everything's kind of, it was a while. I mean, it was a while. I kept thinking, okay, you guys are going to show up, you know, because I had called earlier and no one was coming. I couldn't find my phone. And she was just banging and banging, screaming at me, telling me, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, she's really going to kill me this time. That's all I kept thinking. She's literally going to come in this house and kill me. There was no escape.
As an older woman living alone, it does make sense that she'd be scared of someone being so aggressive towards her. Plus, she was trapped. The only way out of her house was through that front door that AJ was currently blocking. She was certain that AJ was going to break in and kill her, so her only recourse was to grab her gun and shoot blindly through the door. The problem is, there are multiple glaring issues with this story, and the detectives are going to make sure she knows that in just a few minutes. But right now, they have her on their good side, and then want to take advantage of this to learn a little bit more about her relationship and history with AJ and the kids.
Let me just understand this a little better, because I'm not really sure. So, the woman that got shot, what is her name?
AJ.
AJ. Right, it's AJ.
Yeah.
Okay, and how long have you known her?
I really didn't know her. I just, she was a neighbor across the street.
Okay, so how long has she been a neighbor across the street from you? Help me understand that.
A year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, year and a half and 2 years. And in that year and a half and 2 years, how many times have you guys been able to talk?
We've never talked. It's more like screaming.
No, okay, all right. So maybe better would be communicate. How many times have you guys been able to communicate in that year and a half or 2 years?
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times. And in those 2 or 3 times over a year and a half and 2 years, what were you guys screaming about? What were you guys communicating about?
And I called their kids all kinds of names, and I'm like, no, I didn't. And the more I said no, the more irate she got. Finally, I'm like, let me just back off, say yes, I'll apologize, and scurry away.
What kind of things was she saying that you called her kids?
That I called them racial slurs, that I called them, that's never happened. I mean, when she said, I'm like, what are you, stop already, stop lying, And I was like, enough, what? I did call them once, because they just kept coming and coming. I said, you can't read the sign?
Okay.
How many times do we have to tell you you're trespassing?
This is a strange thing for AJ to accuse Susan of, especially when she really had nothing to gain from it. It's rare for someone to want to paint somebody as evil without any reason like she's claiming, and it's not as if they're generic insults either. Of course, Susan denies calling the kids anything racist, but we're just 20 minutes into a 2-hour-long interrogation, and the detectives have placed her seat in the corner of this room for good reason. They're about to start letting her in on the evidence that they've gathered, backing her further into the corner she's in, and forcing her to shut down and release the truth.
You said that you guys have yelled at each other 3 or 4 times in about a year and a half to 2 years, is that right?
Yes.
AJ, you've only had these arguments with her a few times, but what I'm confused about is that we're talking about her banging on it 3 times, and then there's the pause, and there's everything else you just described in Detective Stitt. And you said that this was the time that she was going to come and kill you. That's confusing to me, because it sounds like you guys really didn't have any other times that she was going to come and kill you?
No, she was saying she's going to kill me. I mean, she's verbalizing it. She was saying, I'm going to kill you.
The detective has a great point. If AJ had never been violent towards her before, why immediately jump to thinking she was going to kill you, and with enough confidence to fire back, too? Even if she was saying she was going to kill her, these days, that's used far more as an expression of frustration and almost never carries any weight. The cops also recognize just how defensive she got here, and decide to try pressing her even more.
The racial statements that everyone's saying that you made, I mean, have you ever used the N-word and they're using it against you? Have you said it in passing or something?
I have no idea.
A judge actually signed an order to allow us to go into the phone and look over certain things that would assist in trying to identify the time frames of things that happened. And during the interviews where we were out there talking to other people who live in the neighborhood, they told us that there's been times where you go out and either create video, like record with videos, or take photographs of what the kids are doing in your area out there. So you know how anybody could have a phone or a device that's recording. So you would imagine, I'm sure the kids have phones out in the neighborhood. A lot of them have tablets that record video. You're referring to some of the racial statements that have been alleged. Where does that come from? Is there something more, like, did something happen in the past, or is it just something because these kids are just always, like, antagonizing you?
When I was 12 years old, some girl in middle school thought I was some other girl. And it came down to where I was stuck in a phone booth, and at least 35 other people were around, all blacks. And so they ended up calling the police, and he had to disperse the crowd.
Okay, and what wound up happening then? I mean, anything?
I had to leave school early every day. I couldn't be around. I couldn't do any extracurricular activities. I just had to be very careful at school.
Oh, wow.
I mean, It sounds like there's been some issues that, I mean, is that something that's caused problems with you for the rest of your life? No, that doesn't. Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Every single thing comes back to her being the victim, and not a word of it makes sense. This conversation was about why Susan was being racist, and she didn't even hesitate in essentially ignoring that and talking about how she was bullied as a child. And on top of that, she said that it doesn't even affect her now. She's panicking, and the detectives pick up on this instantly. Now it's time for the detectives to use all the evidence they've collected and begin confronting her to uncover the truth.
Everyone we interviewed, I pretty much got the same, Detective Stith, I think we all got the same statement from every single person we interviewed. These people were interviewed in different locations. Some of them were interviewed at different buildings in different places. I interviewed them at different houses, and all these people provided me similar statements, okay? No one that provided these, now these people could hear her talking. Okay, because she was talking loudly. You said that you could hear it through the wall, and I can agree with that. Okay, she made a statement, something to the effect of, "Why'd you take my kid's iPad?" Okay, somebody heard her say that.
I never touched an iPad. I never saw the iPad. I don't know what this iPad is about.
A tablet or something like that?
Again, no tablet, no iPad, no electronics at all. It was never there, or at least I never saw it.
Okay, you seem unsure of some of the stuff she's saying through the door. Did she say, you're not really sure if she said that?
She could have said it during her rants.
Okay. No one that we've interviewed so far has made any statements about her saying that she wanted to kill you. You said you were so in fear and you're shaking. Is your memory affected regarding this incident in some way?
The cop has been nothing but polite and respectful to Susan, so when he hits her with a healthy dose of passive aggression, it clearly affects her. Of course, the cops are extremely confident with the angle they're taking here. They've spent the last few days talking with neighbor after neighbor and looking through countless hours of surveillance footage, so at this point, it's safe to assume that if they're accusing her of something, they know she's done it. They heard everything that was said by AJ as she was knocking on the door, and not once did she say she was going to kill her or threaten to harm her at all.
You've only seen her a few times. What means does she have to harm you?
Like I said, she was banging so much, everything was shaking and moving.
Now that house,
Which I couldn't believe because it's a cement block house.
That was my next question. So it's a cement block house, and the door, the deadbolt was activated, right?
The deadbolt was activated, right? And you just didn't have the chain lock?
I was going to say, I remember I didn't have the chain. I'm not quite sure if I had the deadbolt on or not.
Okay. I believe the last time we talked, you said you had the deadbolt, but you didn't want to get back close to the door to do the chain, is from what I recall.
The deadbolt's activated, the door's closed, it's a block house. I'm just trying to understand what made you so in fear of this woman if you have these things between you.
When we had spoken previously on the other time when she screamed at me and I finally acquiesced, I said, whatever you want, I'm so sorry. She followed me a foot behind me up until I went into the house. I'm like, what the? I mean, she gave me the creeps.
What happened during that incident where she followed you? What was the conversation?
She said, oh, you called my kids, I think something stupid like that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. And I finally said, I'm going to leave this alone. I don't need, to get killed in the street.
The fact that Susan apologized for saying those things implies guilt, and that's backed up by how comfortable she is saying that word around detectives, almost as though it barely carries any weight. And of course, she victimizes herself, saying she felt threatened. But at this point, she's well past defending herself.
There's a big jump here that you're making logically that I can't seem to make the jump. I'm having a really hard time getting there. You've known this woman for 1.5 to 2 years. Your only communications were 2 to 3 times. She's never threatened you. She's never displayed a firearm towards you. She starts yelling on your patio area, banging hard on your door, which your door is locked, and then you're scared. Now you're saying that you're scared, which, okay, I can get to that. I can get to that point that you're scared. There's someone knocking on your door.
No, it wasn't knocking. It was pounding.
Pounding. There's someone pounding on your door. Right. There's someone pounding on your door. They're pounding on your door, and I can't get to the point where pounding on the door leads to you being hurt or killed. I can't get.
Because I thought she was going to break the door down. The door, you could see that it was all repaired and re-repaired and all that crap like that. So I never felt that door was secure.
What if the police officer had already arrived and she is loud and she's still yelling, and now the officer's standing in front of the door and he does some knocks, but she's still on that darn patio yelling? And you're shooting, you can't see, there's no peephole, there's no window, there's nothing, and then you shoot. And what if the darn officer was on the other side of the door?
At this point, the detectives have expressed clearly that they essentially don't believe Susan, but they haven't yet tried to directly disprove her story. At this point, Susan knows that the detectives have more evidence than she first thought, but she doesn't know to exactly what extent this proves her wrong. But that's all about to change in an instant.
You have indicated that this was somewhere between like 5 to 10 minutes or something. Am I getting that right, Detective Stiff? Okay. From the cameras that we've looked at in the area here, this incident did not last for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, from the people that we spoke to, there's aspects of this that I can agree about. She's talking loud. She's banging on that door. We're going to agree with that. But the actual number of knocks, you did 3 knocks, and then you said there was a pause.
No, I never said 3.
Well, you said bang, 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 and then she stopped. Which I counted 3. Now,
okay.
If there was something different, you can tell me. I was remembering earlier. You said bang, bang, bang. There was 3. Then she stopped, and then she continued to, and then what happened. Mm-hmm. Nothing has led me to believe, as an investigator, that it was like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Maybe it just seemed like it was longer.
Okay.
Probably because the adrenaline rush and just getting so upset.
Sure. Whenever adrenaline comes in, it can make things seem like they stretch out. From some of the other statements we've got, some of the things that we've learned, it sounds more like there was 3 knocks and then there was 3 more and then she was shot. It sounds like this was very quick. It sounds like this was like within a span of less than 20 seconds is what I would say. Is it possible that your time is off on this?
It could be.
Okay.
Because to me it felt like forever.
Okay. I'm worried that some of the prior experiences you've had in your life that we've talked about today, they are traumatic experience against you. When you were a kid, all those people coming and trying to get you, that there's something going on in your head. Are you not sure about some of the things we've talked about today?
The truth is, it only took around 15 seconds from the moment AJ knocked on the door to the gunshot being fired. Susan took no time to consider anything. She didn't have the time to process the fear, to think about what was going on. She simply heard AJ was there, retrieved her gun, and fired blindly through the door. She didn't consider the ramifications of her actions, and it seems as though she just wanted her gone. But now the question remains, why did she decide to do this?
Like in your head, during the panic, during all these thoughts, what did you feel that was going to happen?
And she's going to come in there and beat the shit out of me until I was dead.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I felt. I mean, I don't understand why she came over my house. If there was all these issues and problems, why didn't she just call somebody? To me, that's what you would do if you're normal. That's a normal thing to do. If something happens to me, I call the police.
Do you think that she could somehow get through that wall now that you're out, now that you're not in the house anymore, and that
I still feel that fear. I just still feel she was coming at me. I'm sorry. It's what I feel.
Okay.
I just, it's been playing in my head over and over again, and I just kept thinking of that and how terrified I was.
It's clear she's attempting to claim self-defense, but the large number of eyewitnesses interviewed by the police makes this a far-fetched attempt.
Was your goal to shoot and kill her?
No.
What was your goal?
To shoot and hopefully, she'd hear the shot and dissipate.
But you took aim at the door, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the goal was to strike the door and to dissipate it.
The detectives then spend some time breaking down, theoretically, how AJ couldn't have broken through the door. Not only have the detectives had experience with this sort of thing in the past, citing full-grown men being unable to break down doors, but they also tested her door without the lock on it, and none of them were even able to get it to budge. They also then recap some other past incidents, taking the pressure off for a little while, before starting to talk about some other encounters she had with the kids. This is where we rejoin the interrogation with this simple question.
Reason why anybody would have any video or anything like that of you saying like the N-word? Is there any reason why someone would have that?
I have no idea. And if I did let it go, I'm sorry. I could have slipped out.
Be honest with what context would it slip out, do you think? I mean, what would happen for you to say something like that?
If they were being extraordinarily rude, or if they were just I was always taught the N-word meant that you were just being unlawful, dirty, just, I don't know, generally not being pleasant.
And in the times that you...
I'm sorry. I think there's just a lot of other words that are, I believe, out there to describe those things as well. I mean, what is it in particular about that word or...
I never said the words, never.
Okay.
So I don't know why you keep coming back to this.
Well, that's just what
someone had mentioned, and like I said,
no, never, never uttered the
that
words.
you used the word...
Absolutely not.
Something like that. Is there any reason why anybody would have a video like that? Is there any reason why that would exist?
No, there shouldn't be.
Susan should know that it's pointless to deny these things at this point. The less she cooperates, the worse she's going to look. But now, it doesn't feel like there's any saving her.
If we were to look through everything in your phone or your home desktop computer, is there anything kind of research on your internet history that would show that you've done research on like self-defense? Or have you ever heard of the term stand your ground?
Yes.
If you're familiar with Florida state law, you'll know about the stand your ground rule. In short, it says you're within your right to use lethal force if it's defending you from a violent attack. You have no obligation to retreat or hide first. The detective thinks that Susan was trying to exploit this rule, possibly citing a search that she may have made prior to the shooting. The problem is, this law only excuses you if it's reasonable to believe that you were in danger. That's why the detectives have put so much stress on if AJ could have gotten through the door, and if Susan thought she was armed or dangerous. Unfortunately for Susan, everything points to her guilt.
We've interviewed other people that it was a very brief interaction and then you shot them. Now, this wasn't a long siege. It wasn't a castle siege. It didn't last for 20, 30 minutes. It was 2 minutes. So you're trying to tell us that a reasonable person would shoot somebody for less than 2 minutes of making statements outside. That doesn't make any sense. So that I have to look on the scale here. Where is Susan? Did she plan this? Is she a cold-blooded killer that plans things? Was this an accident? Or was this something that got out of hand? Is it somewhere in the middle? That makes more sense. Not what Susan's telling me. Is it somewhere in the middle? I'm just trying to figure out who's sitting in front of me here.
The detective is quite simply describing the difference between first-degree murder, second-degree murder, or manslaughter, and they have to figure out where to place her on this spectrum. So the detective is about to give Susan an ultimatum. They know she's lied in this interview, but they want to give her a chance to tell them the full truth about what happened. Remember, if they get a confession, the detective's job will be much easier. They won't have to waste time trying to prove her guilt in a court of law. Instead, they can just show the jury her confession and have her plead guilty. On top of that, she might get a lighter sentence if she cooperates, but that's only if she decides to play along.
99% of the people that sit in front of me in this room, they do not tell me the truth like the entire time. But then we get to a point where I show them that everything they're saying actually doesn't make any sense. And I always tell them, I say, look, we want to go the path of least resistance. We don't want to go down the path of embarrassment or humiliation or I made a mistake. They don't want to do that, but I show them everything. And they say, you know what? And I don't hold it against them. I don't take anything personally. If you had said something before that was not true and you felt like you had to go down that path to protect yourself or whatever it is, but it's not true, this is your opportunity to tell us. And I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to say Susan is a jerk or a liar or anything like that. I'm going to say what Susan's saying now makes a little bit more sense for me and Detective Stiff. And this is that opportunity.
I don't know what to say. I was in fear for my life. I mean, honest to God, I just feared that she was going to come through that door. I'm sorry, that's how I felt.
Susan is left on her own again as detectives prepare to process her. For someone who likely knows their life is over, she's done a good job at holding things together, but hearing that she's going to be charged with manslaughter must have broken through that tough skin, and when detectives come back 10 minutes later, cooperation is the last thing on her mind.
You're under arrest. In fact, we can probably go ahead and put handcuffs on her. Let's get her, just get you handcuffed.
No.
Stand up.
No, don't touch me.
Susan.
Stand up, Susan.
No.
Listen.
Sorry, I can't
It can
do
go
this.
one
I
of two
can't
ways.
do
It can
this.
go an easy way or it can go a really hard way.
I'm sorry.
We don't want it to go the hard way.
I'm so sorry. I
Susan,
can't
put
do
yourself
this.
in our position. There's no choice in this. You're going over there.
I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Come on, Susan, stand up.
If
We don't have
No,
time to
seriously,
debate.
I can't do this.
Okay, but do you understand that you're under arrest and you're
I
going to be
understand
taken to
I'm
the
under
jail
arrest
one
now.
way or another, okay?
I don't care.
Susan?
I just can't do this. I'm sorry.
What you're saying and doing right now is not reasonable.
I know it's not
There's been
reasonable, but I
people-
just can't do this.
And this is why we're in this position here, Susan, is because the decisions you make are not reasonable. You make, just like what
I'm
we're
sorry.
experiencing right now,
I'm sorry. I just can't do this.
we're going to go to the jail. There's no changing this. There's no stopping it.
I don't care. Kill me.
Thank you, Susan.
I didn't do this on purpose. This wasn't a purposeful act. I did not premeditate it. I didn't do anything like that. This is ridiculous.
We're going to go out this way.
A court eventually settled on a charge of manslaughter for Susan, as they were never able to prove whether or not she had planned the murder out. On the 16th of August, 2024, she was convicted of manslaughter. She is currently awaiting sentencing and faces a total of 30 years behind bars.